You know what's interesting is it kind of doesn't. So what's up, people? My name is Darius Williams. I go by Darius Cooks on social. And as one of the partners in ownership of HipHop Soul, I guess my goal is to bring really good soul food. Like, I know what soul food is. Like, I know what soul food is about. I know what it does to the heart. I know what it does to the mind. I know what it does to the soul. So I want to bring that from America, from the South, and bring that to Bali because it's missing. It ain't here. You know, I'm looking for the collard greens, the macaroni and cheese, and we just couldn't find it. So I'm like, yo, I know what all this is. I know what it does. Let's figure out how we bring all of that on a plate and bring it to Bali.
Hey, I'm Tommy. I'm Darius's partner in this exciting venture. You know, growing up always around food, and eventually my cooking journey really took off when I moved to Bali. So we actually met in the cooking class. During the cooking class, you know, we talk about business a lot in the car. And yeah, he was like, hey, where the collard greens at? Where the you know, fried chicken? Where the proper mac and cheese at? And I took him to one place over there. Here's the mac and cheese. It was like, this is not mac and cheese. Yeah, we ain't got a place like that here. So the vision is about bringing the authentic soul food over here in Bali, because we don't have that, man. So that's the goal and the vision.
You know what's interesting is it kind of doesn't. like soul food is like this sort of idea that is like a blank canvas, and you can sort of put different things with soul food. So like, you know, people who are watching this back in America, right? You know that we can make soul food with hip hop blasting. You can make soul food with current R&B blasting. You can make soul food with old school R&B blasting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends on like who's cooking and who's in charge in the kitchen. So it's like soul food is loosely related, but the backdrop of hip hop is soul food, right? Like the backdrop of what everyone eats who's like black, who is, you know, into hip hop or hip hop artist, it's the basis of that, right? So it's collard greens, it's macaroni and cheese, it's cornbread, it's fried chicken, it's smothered pork chops, things like that. So that's how, in my mind, you know, we sort of relate the idea of hip hop to soul food cooking. But in thinking of like, all right, cool, what makes sense in Bali? What makes sense in terms of a concept? It was like, yo, bringing hip hop and soul food together as a concept makes sense because so many people love the idea of hip hop. And when I say hip hop, like, you know, am I talking about like, you know, Rakim? Am I talking about, you know, Run DMC? Sure, some of that, right? Like the origination of hip hop, but then also like the infusion of the idea of hip hop with like soul, the idea of hip hop with funk, the idea of hip hop with R&B. Putting all that together is sort of where we're moving to. So it doesn't really matter like your style, like if you are pure hip hop head, or if you're more like a Chris Brown R&B head, or if you like an old school, like a 90s Shanice Brandy situation. We want to kind of encompass all that. So bringing that together as a concept, I think was what we were going for. I think when we first started, there was this idea of like, let's just call it hip hop fried chicken, right?
Yeah, hip hop fried chicken.
And then it was like, he was like, are you sure you want to call it hip hop fried chicken? Because like the idea of fried chicken in Bali is like not elevated. It's like a lower
standard.
Yeah, like a lower standard, yeah.
Yeah, I also feel like it's a little bit limiting to what we're gonna do and we're gonna bring on a plate.
There you go. So it was saying, okay, what could the concept look like? What could the concept be? And then that's how we came up with the idea for HipHop Soul.
That's the name, man, HipHop Soul. Really clicked. You gotta understand that none of us Indonesians have ever experienced a restaurant dedicated just for the culture, just for celebrating the black culture. Mind me, I'm not black, all right? A little bit yellow bones out here, but I'm fully through and through Indonesian. But I have a love for hip hop. So the idea to have a place that people for the love of hip hop can come and to call that place second home, that'll be cool. So to celebrate not just a surface level, but we're trying to bring like the full experience, the vibe, the ambiance, just the full.
Which is, it's crazy because he says he's not black, right? And get it, looking at him, he's not black. But when you listen to him speak sometimes with his culture or the influence of the culture, it blows my mind sometimes. And I know some of y'all who are watching him now, you're like, he's been to America, right? He's grown up in Alabama, he's been someplace in Mississippi. The man has never been to America. He's never stepped foot in American territory, American soil a day in his life. So what you're listening to and what you're observing and what you're witnessing is the black influence, the American influence straight from the internet, right? Like he's a studier, like he studies the culture, like he's a student, you know what I'm saying? So he's never been to America. He's never been had authentic soul food besides what he tasted, what I've cooked. And so to have him sort of be enthralled with the culture just goes to show you just how hip hop is permeated throughout every place you go. And there's touches of black culture all over Bali here and there. So yeah, he ain't never been, right? But I mean, you can tell there's some sort of associations that just make sense. So for him to be a leader in this project, just, it makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes sense. I mean, growing up, I always with hip hop, that's what I listen to whenever I feel sad. I think hip hop is more than just music. It's about the philosophy of thrive and resilience and also hope. So that really, connects with me. That's why when we having a discussion about the name, HipHop Soul, this kind of makes sense because that's what we're actually really close with. Yeah.
I think for me, I think the one thing that I think we need to highlight is the fact that he says when I was growing up. And Tommy's a really good chef, just FYI, right? So if you don't know, the man does know how to cook. And the thing I think is so interesting is that it doesn't matter, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it matters whether you're Chinese, whether you're Indonesian, whether you're American. The idea of soul food remains the same in every culture, right? So Indonesians have their versions of soul food where things are slow cooked and taste like something your mother would cook. I remember I made something, I made a dish, smothered chicken, and Iksan was here, right?
Yeah,
and he tasted it, and he says, "Oh, it tastes like something my grandmother would make," right?
Wow.
So it doesn't. I don't think it matters where you're from. The idea of something your grandmother would make, something you grew up on, the food that you ate that made you who you are, that sort of sustained throughout generations. I think that should be celebrated and highlighted, right? And so Indonesians have their version of soul food, just like we have our version. And all the food's different. The backbone, the undergirding, right? The sort of the rebar, the thing that holds it up is very vastly connected and pretty much the same. So for me to answer the question, I'm black, you know what I'm saying? Soul food is just what we ate growing up. I know where it comes from. It comes from not a great place. It comes from, us creating our own cuisine off of scraps and what we had left over. And it's what has fed us throughout generations. And I just think being able to celebrate that is spectacular. And not just fried chicken, but lemon pepper honey fried chicken, right? With beautiful, lovely, fresh rolled biscuits and some sort of preserves that we made from fruit that we picked off a tree, right? That's taking the idea of soul food and elevating it, right? you can take peach cobbler, or you can make it a peach cobbler Pop-Tart, right? With beautiful cinnamon pastry cream and, you know, a lovely cookie butter peach cobbler ice cream with a, you know, peach and white chocolate candy bar, right? So you could do just regular peach cobbler, and we love that. Or we could take the idea and sort of blow it up. And I think that's what I want to accomplish with HipHop Soul.
That's amazing. Elevated, man. Elevated.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
sir.
what I want to do. Yeah. KFC yourself chicken with rice.
Chicken with rice, man.
And how do you eat the rice? How do you eat it?
Oh, we just peel it like burger, and then we hold it with the other hand, and then the chicken, we dip it, and then, you know, the rice. We hold it like a burger, and we eat the rice like a burger.